What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D.O.G football podcast. My name is Drew. I'm with the Sermon and OC.
So much emphasis. You've been hanging on to that one the entire day.
I have.
Just to give you guys backstory, this guy texts us in our group chat, and let's talk about basketball. And we said, what? Let's talk about the basketball fight.
Calm down. You didn't gotta do me like that.
Did you look it up? Did you watch the fight?
You didn't have to look it up. You saw last night.
Because I looked it up, and like you said, it's like, dude, there was a bunch of girls just pushing each other around.
I wouldn't say that.
I saw a headlock.
There's a headlock.
There's a 5-game suspension.
How many times has Trent Williams just punched dudes in the middle of games?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Here we go.
But you know what? I would rather see an NBA player put someone in a headlock than a fucking dumbass football player try and punch someone through a helmet.
Why is it got to be a dumbass football
Because
player?
he's trying to punch through a helmet.
I thought you were going to come in hot and talk about
Trent Williams.
Oh, Van Der
just
Esch.
ended Van Der Esch's career. Yeah,
I don't
Possibly.
know about
appreciate
that.
that. Appreciate it.
It's pretty shitty. I remember because when I saw the update where the one you sent us about him possibly ending his career, and I was like, I thought back immediately to when they played the Niners and when he would straight up speared into like another person.
Yeah. Have you seen the clip recently?
Not recently, but I remember it.
Trent,
I remember
he's a little low, and Trent Williams right behind him just pushes him right into Micah, and Micah doesn't.
It was
budge.
Micah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
And you just see his whole neck turns into an accordion, and it's like, oh, dude.
And he already had neck issues too, right?
Yeah, he's already got a spinal fusion in his neck. So
man,
that's when they said he was done for the season, and that they're going to consider surgery without even really like doing research. I'm like, that's probably the end.
You know what this reminds me of?
Huh?
Sean Lee.
Yeah.
Same kind of
same
pretty
kind
good
of
linebacker for the
Yeah.
Cowboys,
Yeah.
and then he had.
He could have been better if he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
High IQ guys. It
The
sucks.
white linebackers.
Yeah.
Their bodies can't keep up.
I remember when Van Der Esch was drafted, I was kind of excited because I saw that dude tear up Fresno State twice in the same year. And I was like, well, I hate this guy, but I hate him so much. Now he's going to be a Cowboy. It's kind of works in my favor. And he's had a pretty good career. Not outstanding. Probably won't be a Hall of Famer.
He was a solid linebacker.
But yeah, he's got the job done.
Whenever he played, he was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks to see that. I mean, I did kind of laugh when the game was live when I did see that, and it was like, now thinking back at it, like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
He kind of fucked himself up pretty bad.
When it happened, I thought, well, we already lost Trayvon. Now our starting linebacker's out. This is going to handicap the Cowboys defense really bad, and they really haven't skipped a beat. Honestly, they could be a little bit better now that he's out. The play style is different again, so they had to switch up the defense. They went to a more athletic linebacking core compared to what LVE was doing.
You have Micah. I think you guys will be fine.
Yeah, well, he actually took like something like eight reps or something like that at the linebacker position. First time he's done that since last year.
They'll move him around, but I mean, there's going to be eventually a point in his career where he's just going to be all out edge rusher, right? Just out and out.
Well, I think that was the plan going into the season, and then
the
a handful of injuries has kind of changed things. Because like his rookie year, it was like, all right, you're going to be like an edge linebacker, and you're going to rush a little bit, but you're still going to be this linebacker going east and west. And then halfway through the season, they're like, we're just going to blitz you like 24/7. And then year 2, it's like, you're just going to play D-end.
Yeah, I think it's eventually going to lead up to that. It sucks for Van Der Esch. You guys want to talk about the main story, I guess, of the week with Deshaun Watson?
Well, I was going to say, if we're on injuries, let's talk about Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson.
Before we really dive into Deshaun Watson, I was thinking this morning, how many quarterbacks have we lost already this year? Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones,
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, it's 5.
Did I say Aaron Rodgers already?
Yeah. I mean,
I think there's one more.
I mean, overall, how many rookie quarterbacks have played, right? Who have had to gone in and like in place? Because
Kyler was hurt.
Kyler was hurt. He started off.
He's finally back.
Because
Stafford.
Stafford, he missed some games.
Stafford's missed a couple games. Oh, you mean like done for the year?
Yeah,
Done for the season.
Well, Mac Jones might be done for the year, but not because of an injury.
Okay, if that's not obviously taking, then what is, right? That is just, that look blatant, right? Or is he just that bad?
No, he's bad.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad. Zappy goes in and throws the one that's even worse.
Yeah, he does. With the game on the line.
Yeah, dude, look, the Patriots just can't catch a break, man.
It's crazy how like we go into the season thinking like, oh, here are the 32 starters for the 32 teams, and the quarter of the league is just wiped out because of injuries or bad play.
Dude,
and just like, then you start thinking like teams are already looking ahead, like the Raiders, the Titans. You're already looking for other quarterbacks because you're like, this isn't the guy.
Well, I heard some stuff earlier with Deshaun Watson and the Browns, because you were talking about how the Browns, they were looking to turn it around. At this point, there's like, I mean, just Tannehill, like, hey, ask the Titans to go ahead and just release him. That way he can go ahead and hop over, help them out. You know,
sure.
Or what happens when Deshaun comes back?
I think Colt McCoy might get a call. It's really interesting to see what the Browns are going to do, because this is probably one of the better Browns team we've seen, even when they had Baker Mayfield.
Well, that defense is
Well, they were saying how they dropped the ball on trading away Josh Dobbs, because now look what he's doing for Minnesota.
Yep, it would be awfully nice to have Josh Dobbs right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you said this morning in your text, you're like the worst trade of all time, and I think the Browns were figuring it out. And then they lost their best player, completely blew up his knee. Yeah. And then you finally saw in this game against the Ravens, Deshaun Watson figured it out, put together a good drive for that game winner, and then they lose him.
Yeah.
So if there's a way, if there's a way to go full Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns have gone full Cleveland Browns.
$90 million for like 9 games that he's played so far,
and all the guaranteed money. He had like the most guaranteed money.
But
of all
still,
time? Like
this is still one of the better teams that they've had in the last 15 years.
Stefanski's doing a great job right now.
Oh, he's a great coach.
He's keeping it together for them, you know.
But it's like a Vrabel all over again, right? How eventually how long is it going to stay up, right? Because you have a mediocre quarterback. Well, I wouldn't say Deshaun's mediocre. He's been playing pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
to his standard, yes.
Right.
Well, we know Deshaun is capable.
We know what he's capable of. But
I mean, he had MVP votes 4 years ago.
But that's the thing, is that he hasn't played in 3 years, like a full season in 3 years.
He was hurt and suspended.
So then, if you're the Browns, you obviously have to bring him back because of all the money you spent.
You have to. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say like, okay, let's pull the plug on Deshaun. But I mean, at the same time, you still got to worry about the rest of your team, right? Because now you would have to. Go wasting away what? I mean, you're wasting away Myles Garrett. You know,
their careers.
The other guys that are there.
I was just gonna add, like, you have to invest in a backup quarterback if these injuries continue, right?
I think everybody now in the league has to.
The Cowboys got 3.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to the Niners last year, right? When they get to the playoff game, you had to play your 4th-string quarterback, and you almost have to have Christian McCaffrey go take snaps.
Now, my next question is, if Josh Dobbs continues and playing very well, you know, if he leads them to a playoff spot, do you keep him, or what do you think they do?
Move on from Kirk Cousins?
Well, I don't think they bring Kirk Cousins back.
You don't think he's coming back at all?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
I think the way he was starting to
hurt.
play,
because he got hurt. Because you only see Kirk Cousins doing this year, right? If he plays the whole season, he does well, and then he flatlines, lose the playoff, I think you're okay. We've spent 5 years with Kirk Cousins. Let's move on. Now it's, Kirk Cousins was throwing up MVP-like numbers. What could have been?
So you keep Dobbs as the highest paid backup probably then, right?
Yeah, probably.
Or you trade him. What do you do?
And that's the thing. Is
this is the crazy part. If Josh Dobbs leads you to a playoff berth, he has to get at least either the highest paid backup position in the league, or somebody's going to take a shot on him.
I think Cooper Rush really put into perspective how valuable it is having a quality backup.
Yeah,
because Cooper Rush played 5 games last year.
Yeah, he went 4-1,
and kept the Cowboys afloat. And the Cowboys ended up making the playoffs and winning a playoff game. That doesn't happen if you got fucking Colt McCoy back there playing quarterback.
Well, it's just it almost kind of seems as like you have to invest into a backup quarterback. But the thing is a backup quarterback goes lights out, but then now somebody else is knocking on the door like, hey, this guy can potentially be our starter. Like, you remember what happened with Matt Flynn when he was behind Aaron Rodgers.
And he had that 1 touchdown game.
It was 500 yards or whatever. And then the Seahawks paid him all this money just for Russell Wilson to come in and take his spot, right?
It's all about his worth, right? If the price is right, they'll move on from Dobbs because I think they're going to do Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
The same thing with Cooper Rush. I felt like Cooper Rush after last year earned a starting spot somewhere. I mean, Cooper Rush is just as good as some of these guys that are playing like dog shit. But he's stuck with Cowboys, and sometimes people are just supposed to be backup guys.
The thing is, playing quarterback has got to be damn near impossible, right? To be a successful quarterback in the NFL, it's like pretty close, right? Like we can count on our hands of how many guys we would say like is the all-time greats at a position.
Troy Aikman,
just like it's
Roger Staubach.
Well, that room is pretty small, right? In comparison,
Tony Romo.
Yeah, okay,
that room's the same one,
but. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty difficult position, and we've seen that guys clearly aren't capable of starting that are in the NFL that coaches thought was capable of starting. I just think something's got to happen, or we got to do something, maybe change the way we draft quarterbacks, or maybe change the way they look at the quarterback position.
I feel like what has been most successful with teams and quarterbacks is guys that fit the system. It's not best quarterbacks available because I mean, Bill Belichick, for instance, if Bill Belichick takes the number 1 overall quarterback, that doesn't mean that quarterback is going to be able to come into Bill Belichick's system
if it doesn't
and
fit.
Play the way he wants.
Well,
I think that's why Tom Brady worked out so great. That's why Brock Purdy works out so great. That's why Dak Prescott has worked out so great. These guys are 4th round and later draft picks,
they're coming in
and they come into the right system. Brock Purdy's got one of the best situations in the entire NFL. Right. I don't need you to throw for 400 yards every game. I need you to hit that guy that's roughly wide open, and then let them do the rest.
And then they figure it out by the time they get to Tom Brady later on in their career.
Yes.
Then now they've developed all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, it's the same thing like Tua, right? He looked average at best the first couple years, and he gets a
fresh start.
He gets a Mike McDaniel, and suddenly the system fits the quarterback. That's
why I was like, when I know like everybody goes up in arms like with Aaron Rodgers if he had gone to San Francisco instead of Alex Smith. And I was like, who's to say he would have had the same career outcome as Alex Smith, right?
True.
Because you go in totally dysfunctional organization.
Because he ad-libs a lot. He does his own thing. Like he doesn't like to.
Same with Patrick Mahomes. What if he would have gone to Chicago instead of Trubisky? Maybe his career would be a fucking backup quarterback.
He could be out the league right now.
So then let's talk about the topic then. Ken Dorsey gets fired as OC, right?
Right.
So
Bullshit.
Then, okay, scapegoat, right?
100%.
Why, we're talking about talent, right, with quarterbacks and system. That's another one, right? All the talent in the world with Josh Allen, but the system, ever since Dable left, right, the system hasn't been.
It's just not fitting him.
Yeah, it's not fitting him, right?
Right. I mean, it's clear as day. I think everyone in the world knows the scapegoat. You can't fire Josh Allen, so who do you fire? You're not ready to fire your head coach yet, so who do you fire? Has to be the offensive coordinator.
So here's my question then: If they don't have 12 men on the field and Buffalo escapes with the win, does Ken Dorsey get fired?
No. I said they said it in the game. Troy Aikman was talking about how a great drive that Dorsey put together, how they ran the ball, and there was a lot of play action, and they won the game. Yeah. There it is. The Bills did what they need to do to win the game.
And now you have to play defense.
And now you got to play defense. Yeah. So Dorsey did his job, and yet somehow there's 12 men on special teams, and the offensive coordinator gets fired. Like that's so bad.
It was set. I mean, and then your guys' joke of when you guys saw, I was like, who was supposed to be out there? You guys said Damar Hamlin. I absolutely lost it. Both of you guys. I was like, yeah. You guys are starting
After further review, he was not on the field.
No.
Dude, I double checked. I was like, oh man, I really hope he was not out there. That was the biggest.
Hey, he did make a tackle though.
He did.
He did.
On that final drive.
He got some love from the stands.
I was gonna say that was a pretty good little roar right there when he made that. Hey, good for you, kid.
It was cool. It was cool to see that go in, but it's just I was telling Jessica, I was explaining to her the whole thing, and then I just looked at my phone and started laughing. She's like, "What's funny?" And that's what I said. It was Damar Hamlin. That was the 12th guy.
What's funny is I went on social media. Everyone was saying Damar Hamlin was the 12th guy out there. I was like, poor guy didn't do anything wrong standing on the sideline. He's trending on Twitter now.
But yeah, the Ken Dorsey stuff obviously is scapegoat. I mean, you're not benching Josh Allen, right? Even though he's the root of I mean, he's not the root of all your problems, but he's the common denominator.
He's
at the
a
very
big
least,
chunk,
right?
Because like we've talked about, he's not a turnover machine or a problem. He's a gunslinger.
He's a gunslinger. Yeah.
So
depending on the
Hey,
melanin, of
yes, depending on
let-
the color of your skin, you're a gunslinger.
Let's not forget though the fact that James Cook had like 2 fumbles. One he recovered right into his hands, right? As he's running.
right.
So it's like an offensive thing where Josh Allen turns the ball over, his running back is turning the ball over,
And then, well, Gabe
did he-
Davis, the ball that
did he-
went through his hands, that
Yeah.
was the
Did
first
he have
interception.
another? So he had I saw the fumble that he picked up. The ball bounced like right into his
to
hands.
start the game. I think he got
He got
fumbled
stripped.
the opening drive.
He got stripped. The first play of the game.
Yeah.
So the first play of the game, he goes to the outside. He's trying to break a couple of tackles. The defender, like legit, strips the ball from his hands, and he could have legit. The defender could have legit, just hang on to it and gone and scored the other way.
Yeah.
But he stripped it from his hands, dropped it, and then the defender recovered.
Yeah, I didn't watch the beginning of the game. I think I told you guys I gave up watching
The,
lame ass prime time.
But
games.
we were following each other's texts how it was getting close at the end.
And
Oh
he
yeah, I
started
went over to
getting on
Angelique's
there.
house. The game was on, so I was like,
I was
all
like,
right.
okay, I'll tune in.
I'll
I
pay
guess.
attention.
But it's still Josh Allen and Russell Wilson versus what was the one on the weekend? Freaking
O'Connell and
the Sunday
Zach
night
and
Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Dude, that
Yes,
The
they got bigger
Oh,
names, but are
man.
the teams that much
The
better?
field goal fest for
Yeah,
about
dude.
2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
that was absolutely. It was very difficult to watch.
Dude,
I was falling
It was
asleep.
painful. Like
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like
I didn't watch that game.
I don't want to watch people kicking.
I went to the
field goals.
movies. I was dead tired. The game was on. I was like, I'd rather be somewhere else.
And
went
I
to
was
the
I was
movies.
watching it with Raider fans because
Uh-huh.
Andrew's married into families,
Oh,
all
okay.
Raider
Yeah,
fans. So
well.
we're watching it with them, and I was like, dude, we're watching a fucking soccer game, dude. Like, it's just like, dude, it's 3-3 right
communist ball.
now. Yeah, dude. It was very difficult to watch. I mean, but
Somebody had to win.
that's what I was saying, man.
All right, getting back on track here. What did the Browns do for the quarterback situation?
Hey, you just roll with what you got. I mean, what else can you do?
DTR baby, Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA's own.
And then you still have PJ Walker there.
Oh yeah, PJ Walker.
He's
Yeah.
played a handful of games for them
I
already.
thought maybe I was thinking Tyrod Taylor. I thought PJ got hurt. Didn't PJ get hurt?
He did. He had
he
to
did.
sit out again.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
and then
Is he good? Is he good to go?
he's
Who did he beat?
he's very turnover prone. He beat the Niners.
Oh yeah, he did.
He
PJ
did.
Walker.
PJ Walker beat the
And
Niners.
then who beat the Cardinals the week last week? Was that Dorian or was that?
It was Deshaun.
Oh, Deshaun played last
Deshaun
week.
played last week. Yeah. That because I remember he left and Deshaun's been hurt the entire fucking year.
He's been in and out.
Ever since he came back, he's been hurt. So that's why I was. That's to me. That's the biggest thing is like I feel like he kind of did swindle the Browns a little bit.
I don't think
With-
he knew he was going to get hurt 10
But it's
times
just
in one season.
all this guaranteed money. They had to have put something like, dude, if protecting your investment, right?
That's the owner's fault.
If you get hurt, like, what are we gonna do? And then
That's
you
a
leave
great.
us-
That's a great job by the agent. Whoever
Yes.
his
Oh,
agent
yeah,
was.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Don't be upset at Deshaun that Deshaun said I want this much money and they said okay.
I'm not upset at Deshaun. I'm flabbergasted by the whole situation. It was like how does anybody get that much guaranteed money
When you've
in
been
a
sitting
sport?
out for a year.
Yeah, you've been sitting out for an entire year. You got all this baggage that you're bringing in with you, and then plus, I mean, it's a sport that's very dependent on you being healthy, which you can't guarantee that. Nobody can guarantee that they're going to be healthy, right?
Yeah,
So
all right.
that's how I was like, this whole guaranteed money. We're never going to see. A deal
I
like
still
that
think the
ever
Browns
again.
only go up from here. This year is probably gonna fizzle out, and they probably won't make the playoffs now.
Nah,
But I
don't think so.
still think next year, if Deshaun's healthy at the get go, maybe you get him one more weapon. I still think that they're going to be a pretty damn good team next year.
I don't think they're that far off though. Like
No.
What do they have the rest of the
And
year?
then you get Chubb back next year, hopefully.
Currently, they're in third place, just one game back of the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
That puts them as a wild card team.
Yeah, they're in right now, right?
But I mean, you look at the division. The Steelers
The AFC
are in front of them,
but
and the Bengals are.
what's their
behind them.
schedule? What do they have
Let's
left?
The
take a look.
AFC North has no business being as competitive as they are.
It's the
starting
best.
to-
It's
starting to
kinda-
piss me off.
It's kind of crazy how this is the best league in the NFL right now, the AFC North. Okay, so they got the Steelers this week. Huge game. Okay, they're hosting the Steelers. Then they got the Broncos, who could be red hot going into that game, depending on how they play this week. That's crazy to
Now
say that.
Now that Russell Wilson's kind of starting to put things together.
Then they got the Rams on the road. Then they got the Jaguars at home. Then the Bears at home. On the road at the Texans.
Hey, that's not a bad
Host
schedule.
Pretty
the
winnable.
Jets. Then the last game of the season at the Bengals.
That's a very favorable schedule to end the year.
I mean,
The only game I can see them like not being favored is maybe this weekend and the last weekend of the season. But everything else,
Right.
they should be like.
I don't think they'll beat the Jags.
I mean, we can get 3 teams.
But they get them at home, right?
Yeah.
We could possibly be getting 3 teams coming out of the AFC North.
That's crazy.
They come into the playoffs. Because, I mean,
That's
you look at
competitive
everywhere
teams,
else. I mean, the Bills are outside looking in, right?
Well, hold on. What about the Texans?
Texans are right there too.
I think the Texans could
That's
get that.
Hey,
I think
Another
you could
one.
end
They're
up.
trying to put things
You
together.
could knock out the Browns and fill in the Texans right there.
Hey, that was the team that I told you guys at the beginning of the year I wanted to see, like Stroud
put
and
things together.
and D'Amico
DeMeco
Ryans.
Ryans.
Yeah.
Dude, the Browns were my pick. Our first episode of this football season.
the Browns were.
Browns
Yeah,
were
they
my
were.
pick.
Yeah. I was still riding high on the Bengals. I didn't think they were going to start off that sluggish. And then they're another team that looked like, okay, they turned the tide. Joe Burrow's playing like Joe Burrow again. He's MVP caliber. And then they go and lose to the Texans.
Yeah.
Right?
And they got dominated for most of that game.
Yeah,
Up until the
it's-
end where they let them back in.
This AFC race is actually getting pretty interesting when you think about it. The Raiders, again, fire their head coach, have an interim coach in there, and they start winning a couple of games. They're getting hot. They're at 5-5.
But they still have
You got-
O'Connell.
You got the Bills at 5-5. You've got the Steelers at 6-3. The Browns at 6-3. Bengals 5-4.
There's just one
Everybody's-
game back.
everybody's-
Texans 5-4.
There's like this cluster of just
There-
everybody
there's-
between 6 and 3 and 5.
There's a
and 5.
lot of teams still involved.
Well, even the Colts 5-5, right?
Yeah, I
They're just
mean,
a couple games back.
Realistically, even the Chargers aren't out of it 4-5.
No.
There's a lot. There's a lot of teams
how long?
still
How
involved
long does Staley have left?
this year.
If he doesn't get him to the
they wait till
playoffs,
the end of the year?
yeah, if he doesn't get him to the playoffs, he's out.
gotta be done.
He's a Monday morning firing.
Yep.
And then that's where the rumors that you were talking about, how the Chargers might be
Oh, yeah.
looking at old Bill there,
Yeah.
dude.
Wow.
What do you think
But
about
they would
that?
have to trade him, right?
They would have to trade
Yeah. So
Unless-
We're
Unless-
talking trading coaches.
unless
Yeah.
the Patriots get fired. Unless the Patriots
So
fire
yeah,
Bill.
so if you guys didn't hear, one of the reports was that Bill Belichick might be on the move after the season, right?
Mhm.
And the team, supposedly Dan Orlovsky was the one saying that he already has his team predetermined for next year, and then it comes out today that supposedly the Chargers would be the team that wants him or might trade for him.
What complete opposite organizations,
That's crazy.
right? Like
It's-
you go
it's-
from Boston, from like the hard nose, like hey Boston, to like LA with all the influencers,
The fake
and all
fans,
the
dude. They
fake
got
fans.
one of the worst fan base loyalties in all of football.
paid actresses at your games, dude, just going crazy.
That's crazy.
Wild.
The part that I thought about was, though, if Bill were to come to the West Coast, like you're coming into a division. It was kind of like I was kind of thinking about it. Like, really, you
It's
would
a tough division.
come to a division where Patrick Mahomes is in? Like, that's what I thought about.
That's true. But he's in a division with Josh Allen too. Like, given he is
I
playing
think he's got to
bad,
do something similar to what Tom Brady did. Go to the NFC North, where they have no sense of direction. Anyone can come in and just take over that division at any point.
are we just gonna just sweeping aside the Lions right now? You
Did I
said
say- I meant South.
oh,
South.
okay. I
Sorry.
I was
said
gonna
NFC
say-
South.
North.
Sorry,
I was
South.
like- but where does he go? Does he go to Tampa?
He follows Brady's
he just
path.
follows Brady's path and goes build from there. But it's just
Go to the Panthers.
he's not gonna go the Saints.
No, I think he wants to be with an established quarterback.
That's what I was like. There's no quarterback there.
He's not going to start up. He's already done with the rookie
All right,
experiment.
so we're going.
We've seen how hard it is to win without a quarterback. Even Bill, before he got Tom Brady, how much did he really win? Right?
yeah, he got fired in Cleveland.
Yeah.
when we're talking established quarterbacks who will probably lose a head coach,
Just Herbert.
Herbert, and maybe, because we've talked about it before, McVay potentially leaving.
Hey,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want Bill Belichick in Dallas?
No, because how do you put Belichick and Dan Quinn at the same? No,
Oh, well,
Oh, but you want Dan Quinn
I want
to
Dan
stay.
Quinn. I want Dan
that's
Quinn to stay.
Dan Quinn's getting a head coaching job next year. Let's
No.
be real.
so if you had the choice between, say, Quinn's gone, and it was between Bill and McCarthy.
Ooh, I don't know, dude.
Put him in a bind there, huh?
I really have to see how this season turns out.
I'm taking big old Bill, dude. The ring camera.
I don't know.
everything,
Let me tell you, I think Bill Belichick might be one of the biggest frauds in the NFL right now. That's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah.
Think he's a fraud, just straight up fraud.
I think we all thought he was the guy driving the boat, and in reality, he's just a passenger.
It was Brady.
Tom Brady was driving that thing the whole time.
I think the Patriots and this whole quote unquote Patriot way, that's just legit the old style of football where you're mother effing everybody, right? Like you're getting in people's faces during the film, you're calling everybody out, you're yelling at your quarterback, but the only reason that worked is because you had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And you were able to get on his back, let him carry you, and take it from there. Because now everybody else in the league, nobody else does that. Like, look at the teams that are good. Like, look at Miami and McDaniels, right?
Laid back. Let the players be themselves.
Yeah, you get along with your guys. Same thing with Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. Oh, that whole Kyle Shanahan coaching tree that you said is Matt LaFleur. Like, it's that entire system. And that's where it kind of gets me to thinking, too. It's just... It's almost kind of like now you kind of need a head coach that's an offensive minded. He's the one coordinating. He's the one calling the plays. Because how many times have we seen an offensive coordinator with a defensive head coach? The offense balls out, then the coordinator leaves and he goes and gets he gets a head coaching job, right? And then the offense the next year, your quarterback is still there. We're seeing it with Josh Allen now when Daboll left, and now Josh Allen, he's almost regressed. Right?
Yeah. So
it's almost like now, if you're going to hire a head coach nowadays, it's got to be an offensive guy. Right? Like, I mean, look at like Bill Walsh and Joe Montana all this year. Bill Walsh is the one calling the plays.
All I'm hearing you say is Dan Quinn staying in Dallas.
Because he's a defensive coordinator.
But Jonathan Gannon, he was the DC for the Eagles, right? And he took off, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a defensive guy that left.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean,
D'Amico
Ryans, he's a defensive guy. Salah's a defensive guy.
But it's a handful,
Right.
But mostly everyone gears towards being an offensive mind.
Because then you just pair that head coach and that quarterback together.
You bring in a good D coordinator.
You bring in a good coordinator, and they take care of the rest.
Recap of this past weekend's games. Anything that stood out to you guys?
I mean, the most exciting game, probably the Chargers and the Lions.
Okay,
watching that slugfest go back and forth.
Didn't watch that game one bit.
Were you watching the Cowboy game the entire time?
100%.
Even when it got to the end,
100%.
it's just like, obviously they're going to go ahead.
OC was there. I was watching this the entire time.
Even though it was like 49-10, he was still watching.
I was still watching it. Locked in.
And I'm just like, hey, we have Washington and Seattle tied. I guess this game's over.
Yeah. At that time, Cooper Rush had already scored one drive.
I guess C.J. Stroud balling.
He continues the ball and he wins.
Yeah,
so he's winning games. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Any surprise performances? Individual performances, team performances.
Well, that was going to be my one. Stroud.
CeeDee Lamb set a record. First person in the NFL to do 3 consecutive games of 10 catches or more for 150 yards or more.
Oh, there you go. First ever, huh?
Yeah, but
10 plus 150.
Yep.
It's not bad. I mean,
it's pretty good.
He's obviously the number one target there, and he's a dude. CeeDee Lamb, he's been a dude ever since he got.
So is he gonna want top dollar money, or is he gonna
100%?
Yeah. Is that gonna hurt?
100%.
You think it'll hurt?
You're you've got 3 guys. You got 3 guys that are gonna want top dollar right now, and it's gonna be CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Yeah,
looks like it.
Yeah,
there goes this whole 50%.
And I think Dak Prescott is in a lot of people's top 4 picks for MVP. So if Dak Prescott wins MVP, you got to pay Dak Prescott first, and then CeeDee Lamb's contract's gonna be coming up before Micah. So then CeeDee Lamb gets paid second, and then really one of the better players, probably one of the best players on the team, gets paid third.
Yeah, it looks that way.
That's why Zach Martin sat out this year during training camp. He's a smart guy. Saw the writing on the wall.
Right.
He's not going to get paid next year or the year after that. He had to get paid this year.
So then, it's a good problem to have, right? You have a lot of good teams or good players balling out. Do we want to get into the forecasted games for this weekend then?
Oh yeah.
Finally, a good Thursday night game.
Oh, is it?
Holy smokes!
Bengals Ravens.
Bengals and Ravens.
That one's gonna be super entertaining to watch.
We're gonna have 3 weeks of good Thursday football in a row.
Hey, that's the Monday night game this week, though. That's
Which is the Monday night game this week?
Eagles and Chiefs.
Super Bowl rematch.
I'm working on my tomahawk chop right now. Let's go.
Let's
go Chiefs.
All right, let's go.
Let's
Start
just get
Thursday
the
night.
the Taylor Swift counter going. Let's see how many times she pops up on the screen. You guys want to just do the primetime games, or you guys want to do maybe some headlining games?
Sure. We can do whatever you want, buddy. Let's start with Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Okay, let's go. Both teams did come off of game-losing field goals.
Is
right?
Hendrickson playing for the Bengals?
But I mean,
Because I think that's a
He's gonna
big
have to
game
chase
changer.
after Lamar.
That's a big game changer.
but I mean, he's an out-and-out pass rusher, right? Like how
Yeah, but
does a pass rusher really affect Lamar as much as like a D-line or a linebacker?
I think
Right.
so. He's their best defensive guy. If he's not playing, I think that it's a huge game changer.
This one's tough, dude. This one's hard.
I really don't know. I'm gonna pick Baltimore because they're at home.
That's what I was gonna do. Just pick the home
Just
team,
pick the home team.
and they're both coming off of losses.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bengals because I think Joe Burrow can do things.
The only stat that I was looking at, I think Joe Burrow on the road in night games or primetime games, he's 0-5 when he's on the road. But when he's at home, he's like 5-0. It's like completely screwed.
And they're in Baltimore.
I don't see Baltimore losing 2 games in their divisional games in a row at home.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with
I'll
Baltimore.
take Baltimore.
Okay, I'll go Bengals just to be different.
Okay.
I do want to predict this Steelers Browns game.
I'm gonna pick the Steelers.
Is it at Cleveland?
It's at Cleveland. Only because I think there's just you got 6 days to figure out what the hell you're doing at quarterback. I think throughout the season when Deshaun wasn't playing, he still at least had a fundamental. We're going in this direction. When Deshaun comes back, we're still going to run the offense exactly the same way. So run it the way that Deshaun runs it right now. Mm-hmm. Now we're going in a completely different direction. We can't force PJ to run it this way because that's not his biggest asset.
This was the game early on that Monday night, right, where Chubb blew his knee out.
Yes, sir.
And then TJ Watt won the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Cleveland had him on the roast, but this was with Deshaun Watson, right?
Yeah.
But it's also Deshaun Watson not playing all that well.
Yeah,
either.
but you also had Nick Chubb for like 3 quarters.
That's true. Yeah, because that's when you lost Nick Chubb.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stick with Steelers.
I'm gonna go Browns.
I'm still rooting for the Browns on this season, just because I want my pick to be right.
The only reason I'm going Browns is because of Matt Canada, and that offense is.
Yeah, I'll take the Browns in this one.
Yeah.
I'll take the home team.
Because then the Steeler defense is good because of T.J. Watt, but I think outside of T.J. Watt, there's not much there compared to what the Cleveland defense is able to do. Any other?
There's a good 1:00 game.
There's a decent 1:00 game, and that is Jets Bills. If you're kind of into watching car accidents,
Give me another field goal fest.
Yeah, because the Cowboys, they have the Panthers. I mean, Chargers.
I think the Cardinals Texans
Packers?
game is actually not going to be that bad.
Game.
Okay.
Cardinals
Our
Texans.
boy Rudy.
Yeah,
This is his 2 favorite teams.
You got CJ, who's doing significantly well against teams that are winning.
Yeah.
And this is a team that's not winning.
This is one of the games that I thought because there's a game every week that no one expects for one team to
I think
win.
this could be good. You're going to have Kyler Murray's second game. You're going to have Cardinals that have got a losing record, and CJ, who's been not doing great against losing record teams.
That's true. And then James Conner's back, too, for the Cardinals. He's healthy.
This could be a sneaky win.
So this could be where the Cardinals get another win.
Yeah.
So I think
it's at Houston, though.
I think that is another little – that might be – it's the second best 10 o'clock game.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. 1 o'clock games, not a whole lot. I mean
the
Niners
Seahawks,
and the Bucks.
Seahawks Rams going to be kind of good if you're into watching NFC West games.
Yeah.
Is Matthew Stafford? He's playing this week,
playing.
right?
Yeah.
So that one might be interesting. You get Geno Smith and Matthew Stafford,
And they get to avenge.
They're in LA.
The Rams
LA.
went up week 1 and smacked them around.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
So we'll see how they react to that.
But I think that was it was kind of a shock, right? Because you had no idea Puka was that dude.
yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I think Seattle makes some corrections, but now you got what's his name? can't think of his name right now.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's back.
This other Sunday night game, dude. How many times are we gonna watch the Broncos just?
Hey, they're kind of on a roll.
This is actually kind of an interesting game.
This is like a rise of mediocre teams right now.
Yes, this is the feel good story of Dobbs,
Josh
right?
Dobbs and
Of being on 3 different teams.
I'm
winning.
honestly interested to watch Dobbs and see how he
puts things together.
Yeah,
in
if he keeps
Minnesota.
going.
Is this his first primetime game of the year?
It should be right.
I believe so. I haven't seen him play in any primetime games.
Primetime, and I'm gonna say the Broncos are hot, 2 in a row. Chiefs and Bills.
Yeah.
The Vikings have gone 2 in a row.
Yeah, well, Vikings have gotten 5 in a row.
Oh, they're 5 in a row.
They started off 1-4. Remember without Jefferson
and
or with
put 'em all
Jefferson,
together.
and then now they've won 5.
We got Dobbs on the road, primetime against Russell Wilson. Buddy's got Justin Jefferson back. So
Justin Jefferson's back. I'm gonna go Broncos.
This is an interesting. This is a little interesting dynamic here in this game.
After Miami put 70 on them, they've kind of figured it out at defense. Holding teams to under 23 points.
I mean, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills
in Kansas City.
In Buffalo.
Yeah.
So Russell Wilson is slowly starting to get those wheels to turn.
Yeah.
I think
He's starting to do Russell Wilson things like with that.
He looks like
that touchdown to Cortland Sutton in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, the ones where he just kind of that,
and then he's just he's running around to the pocket, boots out, and throws it he throws it on a rope too.
I kind of see that his last year or 2 in Seattle when he won 9 games or something like that. I feel like that was
all on his back.
That's the Russell Wilson that we're looking at right now.
I think so. It's not prime Russ, but it's
entertaining
good
Russ.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I got him on my bench in fantasy football. He's
some of his
right in the middle of the pack. He's ranked 14th.
Some of his highlights from his career, dude. It's how does anybody capable of doing stuff that he's done? Let's go to this Monday night game.
And then the biggest game of the entire week.
Hold on, before we get into that one, let's just make sure that the Raider hype train just
Oh yeah, I think so.
Oh, you want it to come to a halt?
Let's just relax on that. You guys beat the Jets, beat who they beat
the Jets in the highly anticipated
the Giants,
shootout. And
they beat
Giants.
the 2 New York teams.
Yeah.
Two of the
everyone's
worst
doing that
teams.
this year.
Yeah,
everybody that plays both.
Everyone's sweeping New York this year.
I want to see what it's like when a team beats them, and then now how are they going to?
I want to see Achane run for 45 yards.
Yeah, I do too.
A touchdown, a couple of receptions.
I like to see that.
Tua got cornrows now, so just saying, it's a different personality.
Stick with what I said. Someone's got to remind him he's Hawaiian.
What? Just because you're not black doesn't mean you can't get cornrows, dude?
It's cool that we're starting to see his personality. He's able to be himself.
Does he got tribal tattoos?
Yeah, he just got a whole half sleeve this year.
Drew doesn't like the cultural appropriation, dude.
I
woke cultures okay, he's no.
So I want to see how people react to if they win. All right, well then.
They're not going to
Shout out to you, Antonio Pierce.
With O'Connell in the backfield, they're not going to win. With Jimmy G in the backfield, they're not going to win.
I'm just saying, that's why
that Miami secondary can sometimes be very sus.
I can go in there and just fucking toss it up to Devontae Adams 15 times in a row and get probably the same result that O'Connell's.
I'm just saying.
Makes so much sense. Throw to Devontae Adams? Maybe you should tell them to do that.
That's all he does. Throw it to Devontae Adams, hand it off to Josh.
No, just
throw it to Devontae.
My point was, I just wanted to make I want to see how people what take they make on Pierce now that.
You think they're gonna be smoking cigars at the end of the game?
I highly doubt that. So.
It's just their roster's just not very good yet.
No,
it's just I feel like it's a brand new season for them. They turned the corner. They still got a long ways to go.
Yeah,
they still have to build that roster outside of Max Crosby. What else they got?
And Miami has a chance to take a stranglehold on their division if they can win this game.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah. Because of the Bills, the way
Bills
they're playing.
They can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Bills aren't winning the division this year. It's Miami's division to lose.
Yeah,
100%.
So they need 100%. They need to take care of what they need to take care of.
I think they're going to take care of business.
You can't lose to the Raiders at home.
It's in Miami. It's
off a bye.
It's off a bye. It's gonna. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be warm over there, but typically during the day,
Miami.
It's kind of warm.
It's always warm.
It's always warm.
Yeah.
It's always warm.
So let's go Monday night Super Bowl rematch.
I'm taking Patty Mahomes and Taylor Swift.
Both teams coming off a bye, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Both teams coming off a bye. So it's an interesting matchup. Both teams had to prepare, got a chance to get healthy. What's up?
One team's what, 8-1, 7-1. The other one's
8-1 and
And
7-2.
okay. Top of the conference in each one, right?
Yes.
No, the Ravens
no.
are in the top.
Ravens are at the top.
I
They
think
got
so,
the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Ravens. Let's see where are they at.
No, they're at 7-3.
No, they're 7-3. Yeah, so they're
So
at the
that
top.
lost.
It's the top team in the AFC versus the top team in the NFC, right?
The defending
team-
Super Bowl
Top team for now,
matchup.
depending on what happens this weekend, because they're all coming off a bye.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens haven't had their bye yet.
So if the Ravens win, then the Ravens will be top dog.
No, they got 3 losses though.
Yeah,
but that's
they
that's
they'll have
if,
8
yeah, that's
wins.
if the yeah.
They have
Okay,
8 wins.
got it.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles, man.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs because fuck them Eagles.
What about you?
Well, Miami needs to catch them in the standings, so
You're gonna go
Go
Eagles.
Eagles.
Let's go.
Or
Philly.
was it fly? Eagles
Die
fly?
Eagles die.
Miami already lost them head to head, so they need to finish a game ahead of them somehow. So
Oh, that's
They-
right.
they need
yeah,
these
they lost
wins.
the Germany game.
Yeah.
That's right. It's going to be interesting. I mean, depending on how healthy Jalen is, because I remember he was banged up after last week's game or the week before against the Cowboys. But Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs haven't been
I don't.
putting things together.
Okay,
offensively.
If Taylor Swift is there, I'm going to Vegas and putting $1,000 down the Chiefs.
Here's my take
Hold
on
on,
this.
is it in Kansas City?
Yeah, it's
It
in
is.
Kansas
Okay,
City.
Okay.
I don't think Philly wants to get into a shootout with them, but I mean, the Chiefs haven't really been blowing teams out necessarily.
It's been their defense.
No.
Their
yeah,
defense
their
has been winning
defense
games
has
for
been
them.
has
Mhm.
been keeping
Remember,
them in
they
games.
still got Tony out there running routes.
Yeah, true.
That guy, he can't catch a fucking cold.
Yeah, I picked him up on my fantasy thinking, like,
Oh,
oh,
Yeah, I
he's-
should have dropped that dude
Yeah.
quicker.
No,
than
I dropped him pretty
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
dropped quicker than he dropped some passes. There.
He saw him drop 3 passes or 4 passes
He's like, nope,
game 1 and said,
that's
I'm
about it.
out.
That's about it.
I'm out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go Eagles. Just, I mean, if they're able to run the ball against this Kansas City defense, I think they're gonna be able to put some stuff together. And
I
it
don't
just-
think they're
it
going to be
just-
able to run the ball.
It
against
just
Kansas
depends
City.
on. I guess it's going to come down to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to
The
make
Chiefs
plays?
the Chiefs are better at run blocking or run stopping than the Cowboys, and the Cowboys did a really good job preventing the run.
It's just nice to finally get a massive game like this on a prime time.
On a Monday night,
Yeah.
that's gonna be awesome. That's like a game you go watch at a bar somewhere, and you like,
Yeah,
get
and
the energy.
it's also like the week of Thanksgiving, so we got like massive.
Oh, yeah,
we got
yeah.
a massive game Monday, then we got the 3-game slate on next
On
Thursday. So
Thursday.
Packers, Lions,
It's gonna be
Commanders,
sweet.
Cowboys, Niners, Seahawks.
Yeah, but-
That's a great
That's gonna
Thursday
be
game.
so
awesome.
it's a
It's gonna be
it's a
awesome
good way to
Thursday game.
start off the
The week.
the week on a Monday.
Yeah.
So
So where are we going to watch this game?
I don't know,
It's
but
up to you guys.
Eagles Chiefs is a good
Well,
one.
you picked the
Yeah,
Eagles.
Eagles.
Huh?
I picked Chiefs.
Eagles, Chiefs.
We're going with tomahawk chop.
It's gonna be awesome. All right, man. I think that's about it, man. I think that
All
was a
right,
good
we got to
one.
get out of here.
Yeah, let's go ahead, close it out, man. Do your thing.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button,
There you go.
and we'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys.
Peace.